Hi, I'm Kate Ward, and this is your Dickman Farms Smart Gardening Tip. And what do we have here? Plants. That's right, I'm here at home with some of my plants, and today we're talking about some pet-friendly plants. And it's not about what your plants can do to your pets, it's about what your pets can do to your plants. Well, all right, both are true. So we're looking at a couple of plants here, and this is a mother fern. It's called that because it gets little baby fernlets, and you can kind of see one started right there on the end, hence the mother fern term. But it is one of the ferns that is considered pet friendly. That said, quite a few of the ferns are, but definitely not all. The ASPCA is a wonderful source for plants that are or not, and a reputable source for you to look into. Another one that we have here is called the Streptocarpus. It's in the African violet family, and the whole family of African violets is one that is also pet friendly. And another common is right here. This is a Christmas cactus that's just finishing flowering for me. It's kind of spent there. All three of these, for easy example, are plants that are pet friendly. But that said, you can also see being pet friendly means that they may suffer some damage at the hands of, in my case, my feline friends. And so this is something that they see. So cats specifically, and dogs actually, but cats more, will investigate using their mouth. So that's what they do here. They did not apparently find this terribly delightful, so they chewed it, went away, but because they chewed the main rib, what happened there is it's going to eventually die off, and I could go ahead and I could actually trim that off, and it'll regrow out of some of these points. But that's an example. This plant will now wall this off. It'll be just fine. It didn't suffer a lot of damage, and they don't continue to damage it, so I leave it down here on the windowsill for them. The same goes for this plant. This mother fern, it's okay. This plant, however, they have not yet discovered. I have another one that they did discover and they quite enjoyed, along with a miniature African violet. They happily ate all the flowers off and then proceeded to chomp on all the leaves, and then unfortunately, excuse me if anybody's squeamish, throw it up somewhere else in the house. So yeah. Anyway, so this one is hiding behind this old Art Deco lamp, which is quite heavy, and they don't have enough. It's kind of hidden by this mother fern. They haven't discovered it. But that said, this mother fern, while not bothering, is a big plant. Take a look. It used to be this big, glorious plant, and sort of now the poor thing has broken fronds. It is quite a large plant. It's in a large pot, and I don't have a lot of other room for it. So that's where it is. I hope it will recover. It's got some new babies here, but that's something to take in mind. If you have a plant that you just love and is pet friendly, then it might suffer some damage. And in this case, they're not really chewing on it. They're sitting in it. They haven't hurt it. I have a plant upstairs that they didn't go potty in it, but what they did do is dig out all around the edge, just put their paws in and scrape out soil. So I had a ring of soil around my pot. I have now since actually put some tile in the top of that one, but I can't do much about this. They don't want to dig it out. They just want to sit in it. The last plant that I have here is an example of extreme damage. They really enjoyed this. This was a very pretty calathea. Well, it still is, I guess. It has a beautiful purplish leaf. Again, you can see the damage that's done to the one remaining leaf. And then the pot looks so awful because not only did they chew on the leaf, but they promptly knocked it onto the floor multiple times, finding it no matter where I put it. I now have it way high up in what I think is a hanging basket, but it's not really a hanging basket plant to me, so I haven't quite decided its particular fate. It may move on, but that's an example. So again, plants that a few plants that won't really mind or hurt your animals, which includes dogs, though cats and dogs do have different tolerances for things. And if you look at the ASPCA website, you'll see that the word toxicity and whatnot. So be sure to kind of look into that and what that means, because sometimes the word toxicity doesn't necessarily mean it's going to, lead to an untimely demise, but they might end up drooling or vomiting or doing all sorts of lovely things that you'd think would teach them a lesson, but it doesn't. So here's a calathea, the family calathea. If you have a spot to put it, that they may not bother it at all. But if they do, it shouldn't bother them. This is particularly a mother fern, and again, most ferns are safe, but not all. You're going to want to steer clear of asparagus fern. The African violet family in general will do well with plants, and a lot of all of the Christmas cactuses will, though that said, cacti in general, some succulents are good with plants, but cacti in general have little spines, and little spines are, hey Gus, are a problem because little spines have a tendency, and he's a young guy obviously, have a tendency to get stuck in paws and things. So that's been your smart gardening tip. Here's some of our characters that cause problems. If you have any questions, please come on in and see us. And again, check out those websites. If you have plants that are not great for plants, the other thing you can do is hang them up. So like pothos should be hung up and away. So some good things that you can do. Come on in, pick our brains. That's what we're here for. This has been your Dickman Farms Smart Gardening Tip.